Welcome back, guys. This is another episode of Under the Surface. I'm Lee, and here I've got Aaron Davenport with me. Aaron, why don't you go ahead and start off by telling us who you are and what you do?
Yeah. Well, my name's Aaron Davenport, and I am the Senior Vice President and Kalamazoo Office Director for Jones & Henry Engineers, and we've been fortunate to be a wastewater consulting engineer with a relationship with the city of Kalamazoo since there wasn't a wastewater plant, since it was just a field and an intermodal yard here. So, we've got like an 80-year relationship with the city working on their projects. And Jones & Henry as a company is approaching a century of, water and wastewater engineering throughout the Midwest: Toledo, Fort Wayne, Carmel, Indiana, Cincinnati, Ohio, and of course, Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Okay, and is this something that you've always done?
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for, I'm gonna date myself, I'm like 21 years now, and with Jones & Henry for right around 11 of those. I've been very fortunate to have a really, really good group of clients here in Southwest Michigan that have given me the opportunity to do some very cool projects, this one included. Mm-hmm. My area of expertise, I guess, would be pump systems with a little bit of collections and some wastewater treatment, water treatment along with it. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, as it were.
So this particular facility, I don't know a lot about. The first time I stepped foot on this was on Friday, mm-hmm. To come out and get the the first shots of this. And so what do you guys do here? What is this facility? Is it just, I see stuff going back into the river. What does this facility actually do? Yeah,
so you're sitting right now at the Kalamazoo Water Reclamation Plant. Kalamazoo Water Reclamation Plant is a city-owned wastewater treatment facility, but it also picks up sanitary sewage flows from most of Kalamazoo County. Mm-hmm. So all of the surrounding cities and townships and the area, basically going east almost all the way to the edge of the Battle Creek system.
Okay.
So, and they treat, sanitary sewer flows, both industrial and residential and commercial, all the way up to 96 million gallons a day of peak flow. The project we're on currently is the addition of new tertiary treatment equipment. Tertiary treatment being kind of the last step in the line, the polishing of the water as it's going out to the river.
Okay. So the polishing of the water, the last step of the treatment, that means that everything is safe and good to go back into the wetlands and waterways, basically. Is that how we understand it?
Yeah, it's it's an interesting thing. So by rule, by law, the water coming out of this facility is generally cleaner than the water that's receiving it. Okay, and it's hard to imagine. It's always complicated to imagine, but we treat water down to a level that there is effectively nothing left alive in it, and all of the contaminants have been removed. That's what the EPA and the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy require. Mm-hmm. And so the water coming out of the outfall here and heading into the Kalamazoo River is, it's got more oxygen. It's a little bit warmer. Fish love it. I do know that. But it's generally cleaner than just the Kalamazoo River water in general, which isn't to say anything bad about the Kalamazoo River. It's just that the standards to which wastewater treatment plants are held are incredibly high. Mm-hmm. And so the folks here in Kalamazoo do a great job. As with all of our clients, we're lucky to help them along the way. But these guys, they take on a challenging task. Mm-hmm. Of taking some of the worst and making it capable of getting put back into nature, and they do a great job of it. We're happy to help.
Yeah, it's a really cool process. I was taking pictures of the facility and just the different types of treatment that goes on before it gets to this final step. Now, can you tell us a little bit about what this structure is? I've heard it called a couple of names. Maybe outfall was mm-hmm. one of them. What was the reason that you guys had this relined? How old is the structure? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the original structure goes back to, the first parts of this go back to the 50s, reconstructed in the 80s. This structure is the outfall. It is the place that the water goes on its way to the river, and It's kind of odd. There's a bunch of channels and baffles in here. Those have weirs typically on them that control the flow going in and out of here so that we can maintain a certain water level in the treatment plant.
Okay.
Originally, the reason we're doing this project is originally we were replacing a gate so that we could shut this outfall off from the river if necessary. And when we got into the process of how we were going to do that work, the contractor was having an incredibly hard time getting the water to stop and getting their stop plates to seal up. And we started to suspect that there was an issue out at the river end of the outfall, because this structure connects via a pipe to a wall and a pipe that discharges to the river. Mm-hmm. And, we were unable to get things sealed up to the point that we needed to take another step, which was the installation of a cofferdam to actually kind of dry out a section of the river. Mm-hmm. So with sheet piling and some pumps, we dried all that out and were able to get in there and review and make repairs to the structure. And at that time it was, hey, this is the first time anybody's been in here in 40 years. We may not be able to get in here for another 40 years. Mm-hmm. We should use this as an opportunity to, hit reset on the life of this structure, make it easier for ourselves to maintain and keep clean and operational. So, at that point it was, hey, we need to get in there and let's clean this thing, let's repair everything in this tank, and let's get it lined so that we're starting fresh, brand new. And, the part that I didn't talk about with this is the rest of the project is there's a 96-inch concrete pipe that mm-hmm. goes from this structure to the river, and then a head wall holding back the earth behind it. And we decided to repair that too, because that's the part that is constantly in contact with both the river and the wastewater. We're not going to have another chance to get in and fix this. So we're here. We've come all this way. It seemed to not make a whole lot of sense to not just get it done and get ourselves a whole new lease on the life of this.
Is there a particular reason you went with advanced rehabilitation to do the project for you and the OBIC product?
Yeah. Well, we've always had really good success company-wide. I mean, Jones & Henry, we've used ART on lots of projects for a very, very long time. I've known the guys from ART for, almost 20 years at this point, mm-hmm. Throughout their various products and services that they've offered. We've had a lot of really, really good luck with OBIC. It's held up incredibly well. We love the product in general, the chem resistance. We love the millage that it gets put down at. We like the kind of composite nature of the product. I do like the resurfacing layer because it kind of mm-hmm. takes out some of the imperfections and keeps us from having to do quite so much actual prep on the front end from a concrete standpoint. Overall, it's a really great product, and all the other thing is the speed at which you can get in and do it. This isn't a long drawn out process. We can get in, hit it, and get out quickly. Yeah. And, when you're trying to hold back a river and stuff like that, those days count. And it matters to us that we can get in and do it. But again, if you get in and do it quickly but don't do it right, then you've really gained nothing. We're fortunate that with this group and this product, we get both. We can get in and get it done quickly and feel confident that when we walk away from it, it's going to hold up, last, and be that 40-year solution that we're looking for.
Yeah, and no project goes without its challenges. Yeah. This one, in particular, had a couple of things that ART had to overcome, mm-hmm. With getting some leaks to stop and getting things dried out, and then obviously with a open top structure like this, yep. It's hard with weather, so some of it's weather dependent. Yeah. But so far, we have been able to overcome those hurdles, and the guys, when I was here on Friday, had to overcome a couple more hurdles with the pipe and all of that. Those types of challenges, do you see those normally in these facilities? Is that something that you guys were trying to remedy with relining and redoing the structure?
Yeah, that's not uncommon. One of the things you have the leaks that come with old piping, because that just happens over time, especially when things are exposed to the elements all the time. But the other thing is the river's right there. You can physically see it. That's where the water is, and that's not all that far below our feet. Yep. In the grand scheme of things. So, that's one of the things we deal with at all of our projects here is, you dig a hole here, you're going to find water in a big hurry. And with that much pressure kind of pushing in from the outside, trying to put water back in this tank, keeping things dry and clean is a challenge, always is. But yeah, the contractors that we've had on site on this project have been incredibly good to work with, and skillful, and have the know-how and the manpower and the equipment to get things done and keep us dry and get us moving forward. It's always a challenge, but that's why you make your plans and you do the best you can.
Yeah. So I guess just to wrap up here, what's next steps for this? We get the floor lined today and get everything finished up. Fingers crossed. What does bringing this system back online look like for you guys?
Yeah, well, currently we're actually running through an alternate outfall at the moment,
Okay.
and so it's a matter of valving, turning some valves, and putting this structure back into service. So, yeah, as soon as we wrap up, it won't take a lot to put this back into service. Behind us, that entire area includes the disinfection part of the disinfection train. It's just a matter of kind of reopening gates and turning valves and getting water flowing the right direction again, and we'll be back in business.
Yeah, that's great. And the good thing is whenever Google decides to go back over this facility, it'll be nice and orange and be able to be seen from everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Aaron, I appreciate you. I appreciate you sitting down and having this conversation with me.
Sure.
Learned a lot through this project, and excited to get on some more projects with you, hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.